The air crackled with excitement. It wasn't just the usual hustle and bustle of a busy city, but something more, something almost tangible. The very atmosphere seemed to vibrate with the energy of countless stories converging in one place. Not the humid, stagnant air of summer in the city, but the electric hum of anticipation. The grand clock towered above, a silent witness to the myriad of emotions that played out beneath it. People paused, if only for a moment, to take in the grandeur of the station, their faces reflecting awe and wonder. Mary and her family, fresh off the train at Grand Central Station, were immediately swept up in the current. The station was a living, breathing entity, and they were now part of its pulse. With each step they felt the weight of the journey behind them and the promise of new adventures ahead. The cavernous hall buzzed with the city's lifeblood. Every corner seemed to hold a secret, every face a story. The architecture itself was a marvel, with its high ceilings and intricate details, a testament to the city's rich history and its ever-evolving present. Tourists and locals alike hurried to their destinations. Some moved with purpose, their steps quick and determined, while others meandered, taking in the sights and sounds. Cameras clicked, capturing moments that would become cherished memories. The station was a crossroads, a place where paths intersected and diverged. The echoing announcements, a symphony of urban chaos, only added to the energy. Each announcement was a call to action, a reminder that time waits for no one. People glanced up, adjusted their plans, and moved on, their lives intertwined with the rhythm of the station. Mary's father, ever the navigator, herded his family through the crowds. His eyes scanned the signs, his mind mapping out the quickest route. He was their guide, their anchor in the sea of faces. With a firm grip on their luggage and a reassuring smile, he led them forward. Their destination, a city bursting with adventure. As they stepped out onto the bustling streets of New York City, the noise and energy hit them like a wave. The skyscrapers loomed above, the streets teemed with life. This was the beginning of a new chapter, a story waiting to be written in the heart of the city that never sleeps. Times Square. Even the name held a certain magic. Emerging from the subway, the family was swallowed by a wave of light and sound. Giant LED screens, flashing advertisements turned night into day. Street performers, their talents amplified, competed for attention. The cacophony was overwhelming, exhilarating. Mary, eyes wide, clung to her mother's hand. This was sensory overload in its purest form. A green oasis in a concrete jungle, Central Park offered respite from the city's frenetic pace. A horse-drawn carriage, its driver full of local lore, promised a different perspective. The rhythmic clip-clop of hooves on pavement, the rustling leaves overhead, a symphony of nature. They passed joggers, street artists, and fellow tourists. A moment of tranquility, a deep breath before the next adventure. The aroma hit them first, a heady mix of spices and sizzling meat, a siren song to hungry travelers. New York City's street food scene was a melting pot of culinary delights. From hot dogs to halal, from pretzels to pizza, the choices seemed endless. They settled on steaming hot dogs, mustard and sauerkraut dripping down their chins. The symphony of flavors, a quintessential New York experience. Section 5, Serenity at the Met, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. A temple of art and history, a stark contrast to the bustling streets outside. Inside, a hushed reverence prevailed. Ancient artifacts whispered tales of bygone eras. Masterpieces of painting and sculpture demanded attention. Mary, captivated by Van Gogh, felt a connection to the artist's soul. Section 6, Gazing at the City That Never Sleeps. As dusk settled, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, they found themselves at the top of the Rock. The observation deck offered an unparalleled view of the city, a vantage point where the hustle and bustle seemed to pause, if only for a moment. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows and bathing the skyscrapers in a warm, golden glow. The city sprawled beneath them, a breathtaking panorama. From this height, the streets looked like veins of light, pulsing with life. The iconic landmarks stood proudly, each telling its own story. Central Park, a green oasis amidst the concrete jungle, stretched out like a serene painting. The Hudson River glistened, reflecting the last light of day. The Empire State Building, a beacon in the fading light, pierced the heavens. Its Art Deco spire, illuminated against the twilight sky, was a testament to human ambition and architectural brilliance. As the sky darkened, the building's lights flickered on, transforming it into a glowing sentinel watching over the city. The city's energy, palpable even from this distance, was intoxicating. The streets below buzzed with activity, cars weaving through the grid like ants in a colony. Neon signs and billboards flashed, advertising everything from Broadway shows to the latest fashion trends. The cacophony of sounds, honking horns, distant sirens, and the murmur of countless conversations created a symphony unique to New York. This was the true heart of the world, beating strong, the city that never sleeps, where dreams are born and possibilities are endless. From the towering skyscrapers to the bustling streets, every corner of New York City exuded a sense of purpose and vitality. It was a place where every moment mattered and every glance held a story waiting to be told. Section 7, a taste of Little Italy. The aroma of garlic and oregano filled the air. Little Italy, a neighborhood steeped in tradition, welcomed them with open arms. Family-run trattorias, their tables spilling out onto the sidewalks, promised authentic Italian fare. The pasta, cooked to perfection, was a revelation. The lively conversations, the clinking of glasses, the laughter. It was like stepping into another world. Section 8, Broadway Dreams. The lights of Broadway beckoned, promising a night of magic and wonder. Tonight's performance, The Lion King. The anticipation was palpable. As the curtain rose, transporting them to the African savannah, Mary held her breath. The music, the costumes, the sheer artistry, a feast for the senses. Section 9. Farewell to the City of Dreams. As the train began to move, the familiar sounds of the bustling station started to fade away. The rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the tracks became the new soundtrack of their journey. The train pulled away from the station, New York City shrinking in the distance. The towering skyscrapers, once so imposing, now seemed like mere specks on the horizon. The city, with all its grandeur and chaos, was slowly being left behind. Mary, her head resting on her mother's shoulder, watched as the skyline disappeared. Her young mind was filled with memories of the city's bright lights and endless energy. She thought about the times they had spent in Central Park, the visits to the museums, and the countless adventures they had embarked on. The city that never sleeps had left its mark. A whirlwind of experiences, from the crowded subways to the serene moments in hidden cafes, had shaped their time in New York. The vibrant street performances, the late-night food trucks, and the spontaneous conversations with strangers had all contributed to their unique story. A kaleidoscope of sights and sounds, Times Square's dazzling lights, the honking of yellow cabs, and the distant hum of the city that seemed to have a life of its own. Each corner of the city held a different story, a different memory. A tapestry woven with laughter, shared moments with friends and family, picnics in Central Park, and spontaneous dance sessions in the streets. The city had a way of bringing people together, creating bonds that would last a lifetime. Wonder and a touch of magic. The awe in a child's eyes as they gazed at the towering buildings, the magic of the first snowfall in the city, and the thrill of discovering a new favorite spot. New York had a way of making the ordinary feel extraordinary. They were leaving a part of their hearts behind, a piece of their soul forever intertwined with the city's essence. The goodbyes were filled with mixed emotions, a blend of sadness for what they were leaving and excitement for what lay ahead, forever intertwined with the soul of New York. As the sun set over the city, casting a golden hue over the skyline, they knew that New York would always be a part of them. The memories they had made would be cherished forever, a testament to their time in the City of Dreams.